Welcome back to the People Behind Property, the podcast by OBrien Real Estate, where we explore the people, the stories and the leadership shaping our industry. Today I'm joined by someone who plays a critical role in real estate, yet often works behind the scenes. Jae Lukey, who was head of property management at one of our biggest offices, and that is OBrien Carrum Downs, now is a business development manager, but took the rent roll from 0 to 200 properties. Has done an incredible job there. Over 8 years in industry experience, Jae has built a reputation for exceptional service, strong systems, genuinely caring for her clients' most valuable assets. We're really looking forward to the discussion today. Jae, it's great to have you on.
Thank you so much, Andrew. And I'm just going to correct you. It's 254 today.
254?
I know.
Wow.
We jumped up pretty quickly.
It sure did. And you that was 0.
That was 0.
Yep.
2 and a bit years ago, yep.
And you were it when it started.
I was it. It was me doing the BDM work. And I remember when I just had the portfolio, I had about 30 properties under me.
It's amazing.
Thought it was so cruisy back then.
I know. You literally were doing everything. And you kept the new business going, obviously, because you took it from 0 to what is 254 today.
254, and now with a great team behind me as well.
Yeah. So how many's in that team?
So it's myself as the new business.
Yep.
Then we have Reese, who came on as my assistant, but now we've got him doing
that's right, Reese.
leasing manager.
Yep.
So he is leasing them quick and fast at the moment, which has freed me up to focus on the new business.
Yep.
And then we have Sarah and Steph, who are just amazing property managers, or
So
running a portfolio. Steph at about 100, Steph and Sarah at 150.
It's amazing. I mean, to grow an asset like that from 0 to 254, I mean, you know, for those out there, it's $1 million asset that's basically grown organically.
Thank you. It's been my little baby.
Absolutely.
It's been a good project for me.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So you've done so well. I think before we get into a bit more of that, I think, you know, let's talk a bit about you before real estate. You know, what were you like growing up? You know, tell us a little bit about you. Yourself.
Growing up, okay. So I was a sweet angel, of course.
Of course.
Just don't ask mum.
Yeah.
No.
And I know you were in hospitality and did all that sort of stuff. So give us a bit of a rundown of your background.
I left high school, and the aim for me was I wanted to be a psychologist. I got into RMIT and then started an entryway course into counselling, and then fortunately Dad passed away, and it just kind of sidetracked me a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
But then me and my partner at the time, we moved to WA for 3 years.
Yep.
And I fell into retail, where ended up being the, I was the area manager for Famous Footwear, for ladies' shoewear.
Okay.
And running the biggest shop in the Southern Hemisphere down in Perth.
Okay.
So I did that for 3 years.
Yep.
Then came back and kind of just fell into real estate, really.
Did you do some event stuff? Were you doing some?
Yes, yeah. I've done everything.
I remember that from
I actually, when I came back to Melbourne, I just actually started working for Melbourne Parks and Gardens doing the event management. On the big events that they have down at Burong Ma and Fitzroy Gardens, any weddings you see, making sure the team knew not to have the sprinklers go off mid-ceremony.
Oh, God, yeah.
And kind of actually doing like your entry conditions for them and your exit conditions. So before I even got into property management, I was already doing entries and exits without even realising it.
You didn't even know. So when you went into property management, it was probably pretty familiar.
Yeah, it was kind of similar. It was like actually taking photos of the parks and gardens, understanding what was there before the events. So that way when all the big companies checked out, we would then obviously invoice them for any repair works.
Very good.
Yeah, so I was like, before I even knew which way I was going, I was already heading that way.
Yeah, so that was that. And then from there you went into real estate.
Yeah, I did. I ended up starting, I just needed money at the time. I was going through a bit of a financial crisis back then.
Yeah, so did you fall into it, or did you make it like a kind of concerted effort to get into real estate?
No, I literally fell into it. Tamara Abbott, who works for O'Brien's at the moment, she was working for eView in Mornington.
Yep.
And they just needed a Saturday receptionist. So I was like, I'll do it for cash.
Yeah.
So every Saturday, because I used to do it for LJ Hooker growing up with mum.
Yeah.
Because mum was always been in real estate as well. But yeah, I just did Saturday, and then Lizzie Garrett, who actually also works for OBrien Real Estate now as
Yep,
well.
yep.
They pulled me into their office and said, "You're doing your license. We're going to pay for it, and you're going to come on as Tamara's assistant." And so that's how I ended up in
That's
real
how you
estate.
got into it.
Yeah.
Jeez, wow. That's and the rest is history, I suppose, as they say. Because
Rest
you've been
is-
in it about 8 years, haven't you?
Yeah, 8 years. That was
years.
back in 2015, actually nearly 10
Yep,
11 years
yep.
now.
Diverting a bit here, but I mean, most people won't think too much about the rent roll that you've built. Is it 254 properties? But that is not easy to do. What did you do? Like, were you getting many referrals from sales? Like,
Yeah. So, look, I've been very grateful that the office that I work with is a high turnover office.
Yeah.
Obviously, coming from Michelle's team,
Yeah.
I knew the drive, I knew the level of work that was kind of needed to be put into it to make sure that we can achieve good customer service and continue on with referrals. So it did start off with a lot of just Michelle's clients. That's purely how it started, Michelle's clients. And it was kind of started off as 10 to 30, and then I was just running a portfolio of 50.
yeah,
And then we had
bit of word of mouth from rental providers maybe as well? Or?
No, it was all just sales leads at
Yeah,
that
okay.
point in time. I was still kind of helping out in Michelle's team here and there, so just to fill up my days. And then Michelle and Lenny obviously took over Carrum Downs, and the rental department that was currently there, they moved over to Chelsea. So then it was just me on my lonesome. So then when we started getting office leads, then we started getting the referrals, and then I started getting multiple clients, and it's just built from there.
Yeah, so good. What was your first day in real estate like? Do you remember it?
First full day.
Yeah.
It's actually probably really hard because
Yeah.
I can remember my first day as a little girl. I was sitting doing the filing work for Mum at LJ Hooker, and people would come in, and that was back in the day where you're doing reception work, and for people to go inspect a property,
Lots of
they'd give you
paper
$50, and then you hand them the keys, and then they get the $50 back.
That's right, yeah.
And then when I started it was fun. I enjoy the atmosphere. I like that high performance atmosphere.
Yeah.
I love being part of where everyone's just on the phones and it's busy and
Yeah, I mean, what I know of you put yourself out there. You know, you're just not afraid to put yourself out there in situations. So I think that's really good. I had a question here. In terms of your career, look, who's been the biggest influence on your career, would you say?
Michelle and Lenny easily.
Yeah.
I think they have provided me with so much opportunity, and they have been the first person that when I've wanted to change lanes a little bit, they've gone, right, this is how we're going to do it. This is, and here are your tools to do it. So they've taken me from getting into sales, which again, I didn't even want to get into sales, and I ended up doing that for 4 years with Michelle. And then they moved me on to obviously property management and said, here you go, this is everything. So they've been my biggest supports as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think when you think about property management, it's not always the most glamorous side to real estate, is it? Like, I think there's a lot of detail, there's so much compliance. What made you fall in love with that channel?
I'm very checklist driven. So
you'd have to be, wouldn't you?
Process driven, yep. Tick it all off. So I think that's what I like about property management. I also do like the challenge of kind of negotiating people's kind of emotions at the time and taking a horrible situation, making it better.
Yep.
Moving them kind of from one mindset to the other, whether it's your renters or your landlords.
Yeah. Was there any particular experience early that kind of cemented your passion for property management?
In all honesty, not really. I think just as I've been doing, combining and then kind of working, and you're actually good at it, it's that kind of concreted it. I remember obviously when I moved over and won the awards at the first gala after the first changeover, I was like, it's
pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a bit of validation that I was like, cool, I'm on the right path. This is great. And then just watching the growth from where it started to where it is now, I was like, that's validation enough.
Definitely.
Yep.
And I saw a lot of that passion, obviously, when you were nominated for the Change Agent last year, and that was amazing, your story, and everything you shared there as well. So
Yeah, doing change agent, that was really cool because I think I even said it to you one time.
Yeah.
I was like, I haven't actually sat down and gone through my own story. So it was a bit of an eye-opener of where I
definitely.
started and kind of where I ended up. And,
yeah,
yeah, that was really cool.
yeah, no, and that was down to the wire, that one as well. But in terms of like conflict resolution, and you're dealing with people's assets and things like that. How do you? And there's problems. You got to deliver bad news and good news all the time. How do you personally handle that?
I think this might be like my kind of love for psychology and
Do you find
counselling.
you draw on some of that?
I do, yeah. I really do. So I think that's kind of, I get to kind of implement my retail experience, my counselling experience, and obviously the sales kind of talking to people on every day all into one. So
do you find you're able to assess and analyse a situation without emotionally buying into it?
Yeah, that's the biggest trick in property management. I think it's when someone's screaming down the phone at you saying they paid rent or they did this, it's take a step back. I always say to the team, I said, generally if it's over a 5, it's not about us.
Yeah.
So if people are over exaggerating, I heard it phrased differently the other day. It was, if they're hysterical, it's historical, as in the issue generally isn't with us. We're probably just the last straw.
Yeah.
So take a step back,
Yeah.
facts, and then calm him. If we can't calm him at that point, circle back to it.
Yeah. It's true. I actually said this to Vanda the other night for an auction meeting that, buyers don't always tell agents what they want because they don't like us.
Yep.
So they will hold back, and it's no different. It's just the industry is not necessarily respected all the time. So you're not always going to get, like you said, hysterical or historical. There's been a bad experience somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yep. Or it could be that they're just having a bad day and you sent that email at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So we're going to cop the brunt of it.
Yeah.
So if you can kind of separate yourself from that, then you're kind of in a position to do a better job as well.
Yeah. It seems like you rarely react to anything that's going on in the PM kind of space. Do you ever get caught off guard, or is it you pretty kind of?
No, I'm pretty calm, collected most of the time. Like I might get rattled I've seen it all. I might get rattled here or there. I've had
the VCATs, the rental arrears and all those types of things, I guess.
Yeah.
Evicting.
Well, arrears is, and I say to the team, like, no one wants to hear that they're not paying their rent. Like it's degrading in a way. So I was like, treat it with a bit more care. So if we can go back to rent and say, what's going on? We know you're normally amazing and everything like that. Is there something we need to let the owner know before they start calling us?
That's right. Because, the other side of that is there's a rental provider there that's either tipping in for that mortgage because the rent's not covering it or whatever it might be. So they've got stress as well.
And everyone's got the stresses. So it's like, how do we negotiate through it as well? And how do we get the best result out of that situation? So it might be, and actually what I do say to the team is always offer your help, because they're more likely to confide in you and tell you exactly what's going on if they know that we're actually there to assist. So I think that's the mindset that most property managers should be in.
Yeah, yeah. What's maybe a couple of the toughest situations you've been in, and what's it kind of taught you?
Situations.
Even just one.
Yeah. Well, we just had one of my first renters. She's just passed away this year, so it's actually high emotions. But also you've got an owner who also needs to be paid their rent as well. So it's treating obviously that situation with a lot of care and going, okay, we're dealing with a grieving family. Yeah. We're dealing with an owner who's a bit stressed and unsure of what's about to happen.
Yeah, because you just automatically get right in the middle of that.
We're the first point of contact, and it's like, crap. But it's going, okay, well, what do we know? Have they got their landlord insurance? And this is what I preach to all my owners. And I hate using this as an example, but I said this is a prime example. You are relying on someone's situation not to change, and that's why you get your insurance. Then it's going, okay, we'll talk the owner through, this is what we're going to do step by step. Then it's talking to the grieving family, you've got this amount of time, how can we assist? So it's just, again,
Yeah.
throwing your assistance where it's needed.
Definitely. And when you reflect on something like that, does that kind of make you feel, satisfied? That's not satisfied, but it's why you do what you do, because you're, in people's time of, it's a low point, that you're able to offer that support and assistance.
Yeah, I've a lot of people don't know this, but I've actually been on the other end of that. So I have been that grieving family. So when Dad passed away, he was actually found by his property manager. So again, you have to kind of go through that, and I remember that circumstance and going, okay, well, as a family member, this is what we need to do. And I just remember thinking about the poor property manager who then had to deal with that as well. So it's putting yourself in your shoes as well. So putting yourself in somebody else's shoes to understand their situation.
Definitely.
To help.
Yeah,
well,
that's the fact that you've been on the other side of that as well.
Yeah.
So sorry to hear about it.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Let's talk about the current conditions, shortage of homes for renters. Like, what are you seeing out there right now?
I'm not seeing that at the moment. That's the crazy thing is...
so there's homes out there for renters?
Absolutely, there is, we did see, obviously, an influx of applications come through at the start of the year. There were so many people looking, and what we noticed was they weren't all great applications, and the reason being is that the 90-day notice to vacate for no cause was came to an end November. So we saw a lot of owners just quickly do a bit of a clean out. So we had it seemed like there was a lot of people looking, but they probably weren't the renters that we put in our own homes. But at the moment, no, we're getting a lot of interstate buyers still hone into kind of Carrum Downs and Frankston and Seaford, so the surrounding suburbs out there. So I haven't seen that shortage yet.
Okay.
And I haven't seen the shortage of applicants either.
Yeah. What do you think about it? I mean, obviously there's all these rental reforms and there's more to come, and it's going to keep coming. Has that kind of, spooked, do you think there's more properties coming up for sale, in terms of rental providers? Has it spooked them? Like, what are you seeing with that?
I'm seeing literally the 360. So I'm seeing, yes, a lot of properties that are selling when the tenants are moving out, but I'm also then seeing a lot of new business come back into the market as well. So I'm seeing that full 360, and it's been quite handy for our team. We've been thinking, okay, if we've got a property that is selling, those renters have been amazing. We've got new business coming on that the house will suit them. So why are we not taking our renters that we already know and know that they're great renters and moving into something that we know we have coming up? We're seeing the 360. It's been quite good for us, and that's how we've been operating.
Good insight. Not always what it seems, is it?
No.
It depends what the media's, spruiking at the time, but that's not always correct, is it?
Yeah, no. And look, obviously there's a lot going on at the moment, so I'm sure we're about to see some changes. I haven't felt them yet, but I'm sure they will. We'll start seeing it coming over Easter as well. It always quiets down around April.
Definitely, advice for rental providers or landlords. So landlord's really an old term now, isn't it?
Rental providers.
For growing and maintaining and growing their asset, like, what are some of the key things that you tell, rental providers that they should continue to do? And
keeping up with your depreciation. So obviously every 5 years, making sure that we're repainting, that we're redoing the carpets, because it adds value to the house, and they get obviously their depreciation back.
Of course, yeah.
So
do you make sure they're all doing the quantity survey reports?
Yep. Just making sure that they're all on top of that. That compliance obviously is a big one. We won't take on any property that's not compliant.
No, of course not.
And
because the fines are huge, aren't they? Like,
massive.
What, they're $12,000 just for any type of
minimum.
Yeah.
It's not worth the risk, and they are consumer fair are out there looking at the moment. So, and as an agency, we don't want to take on that risk either. No. It also means if an owner's not willing to make a property compliant, they're not willing to do all the rest of the stuff that's needed to do throughout the tenancy. So, but the other thing is obviously landlord insurance. Like I said before, you're relying on a renter situation, and that's employment, life, health, and everything not to change, as well as the renters relying on the owner's circumstance not to change either.
exactly. It's like the rent, unless you're really super positively geared, like by the time you look at landlord insurance, building insurance, water rates and rates, things like that, like the costs do stack up.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Yeah. Real estate can be a pretty full-on game. So how do you switch off outside of what you do?
I don't know if I do.
Yeah, probably don't. Yeah.
No, I don't know. To switch off, like I'm pretty good. I'll try and get to my gym. Well, at the moment it's 2 times a week, but normally it should be 3, minimum of 3 times a week.
Yeah.
But family, friends, nice dinner out.
Yeah.
Holidays, I generally have a lot of holidays kind of booked in advance, so at least if I'm working hard, I know something good's coming at the end of it.
Where's your next one?
Noosa.
Nice.
For Easter, so
perfect.
it'll be nice,
That's not far. Well, it's next week, yeah.
Next week?
There you go.
Someone reminded me that. I went, oh my God, I can't believe it's Easter next week. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Fantastic. That's really good. And what motivates you on the tougher days? Or do you just find, you strike me as being pretty level-headed. You don't probably have those days. I don't know.
Do you know, it's funny. I think I work better when I'm over busy. When I'm quiet, I'm a procrastinator. I'm the worst procrastinator. So I will wait till literally last minute, go bang, 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 bang.
Because in PM, probably the normal state is just completely overstimulated all the time.
There's so much happening going. Look, for a while I've been head of property management, running a portfolio and doing new business. I've always had so many things on the go at once.
Yeah.
I'm now obviously lucky that, as you said in the intro, I've actually let go of my portfolio. I'm just focusing on the new business.
So good.
So now it's trying to switch off from a property management brain and just kind of focus on
so you kind of simplified that, but your role is probably one of the most important because that's what's driving the growth. Growth in any business is very important.
It is, but it also means that my leasing team needs to be doing a good job. The property managers need to be a good job because I need to sell their services at the end of the day. Yeah.
No, definitely. Here's an interesting one. So, if you could give yourself or go back and give yourself some advice, say 8 years ago, what would that look like?
8 years ago, it would be to... this is a tough one.
Yeah.
If I was to give myself some advice, it would just...
Or just some career advice maybe, or just,
Yeah, just to work hard because obviously you're going to have big weeks and the hard work is always going to be there.
Yeah.
But I don't know, what am I trying to say, is that if you start now, you'll get to where you want to be a lot quicker. So I think I started a little bit later in life, whereas now I'm kind of at that position where I'm very content and happy.
Yep.
But it also meant for the last 2 years I've been working crazy hours and taking a lot.
Yeah.
But had I started when I wanted to start, then do it. So just whatever you want to do it.
Definitely. No, I think that's really good advice. And probably the overarching word when you just spoke about that then for me is consistency. It seems like, you've got to stay consistent.
Consistent and probably just, don't be scared of failing either because I've failed a few times already and you're going to get the complaint here and there. You're going to have those, hard days.
Yeah.
But then just get through them.
Definitely. And finally, you're a female in real estate. What advice would you give someone, a young female wants to get in real estate, is a bit, overwhelmed by it, gets a bit male dominated in certain areas. What advice would you give a female that just doesn't know where to start, but thinking about a career in real estate?
Tricky because we're a female dominated office.
You are, you absolutely are. And it's a great vibe in there too. A really good culture.
It is fun.
But you've worked in other environments.
Yeah, but it would be, I suppose it's just to find your role models and either mimic them, learn from them, and then take the parts that work for you and take the parts that don't work for you and kind of combine it to give yourself that unique kind of pitch, I guess.
Yeah, and I think you just got to do it.
Yeah,
don't be afraid. Step up
just
and
do it.
Yeah.
What's the saying I've been running at the moment? You got to go through it to get through it.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess what is it? Last question here. What does the next 3 to 5 years look like for Jae Lukey?
Or just
In your
focusing on the
career,
new
you know
business.
what you're doing, yeah.
I want to be a leading BDM in the organisation. I want to help the office, like watching it from grow to zero to where it is now. We want to get it into obviously 300 plus. And I would love to then be able to help coach other BDMs as well.
Yeah. Awesome, Jae. Look, it's been a really refreshing conversation. I think we can't underestimate your achievements at Carrum Downs, what you've done. It's getting to 254 properties. It's not just property management. It's about you and that person behind what you do. It's clear how much you care about your clients and the role that you've played in their lives. And I think that's what truly separates a great operator like yourself from a lot of others out there. So thanks for joining us, Jae. And if you like this episode, please share, follow, and thanks for joining us, Jae.
No, thank you so much for having me. It's been a hoot.
Awesome. Thank you.